Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to handle embedded controls in table cells. To do this, I've opened up our test automation obstacle course on the right-hand side of the page. On the left-hand side, I have Tosca open to the modules and test cases section. My objective is going to be to select one of the data rows, let's say John Little, and click on the edit button. Of course, the first step to do this is to scan my application. So I will go ahead and select the table persons from my obstacle course page. You can see here that the button edit is a separate object. It's a button in the XScan. So I'm going to go ahead and also select the button. And then I'm going to focus on the button. You can see that the edit button has been identified by the inner text edit and the tag button. It's highlighted in yellow, which of course means that it's not uniquely identifiable. And presumably this is because all of the other edit buttons on the page use the same properties or have the same technical properties. I'm going to slide my filter all the way to, or a little bit more to the right so I can see more details about the elements on the page. And I can see here that the OK button is a child element of a div, which is part of a row inside of my table. Of course, best practices is not to select more controls than I need. So I don't want to be selecting divs and rows or anything like that. So I'm just going to leave this as is with the table and the button and save my module and go ahead and jump back into Tosca. So here I can see that I have a table with rows and cells and columns and cells, but the button is actually separated from the rows, whereas in the XScan, I know that the button should have actually been an element inside of a row cell. I'm going to go ahead and create a test case from this module and use a UI click on the edit button and run the test case. And as expected, the test case fails because there was more than one control found for the action edit. Again, we know this is because when we scanned it and now during runtime, the edit button, according to its technical properties, is not uniquely identifiable. If I look at the table, the best way that I can identify this edit button is by the data row in which it falls. So let's say we want to click on the first edit button. If I can uniquely identify the first row, then I'll be able to click on the first edit button. So first of all, I have to make sure that the edit button is somehow tied to the row and cell within the table. To do this, I will embed the button inside of a row cell. That's super easy. I'm just going to drag and drop the button into the module attribute cell under the rows. So I have to, as I said before, uniquely identify the row. I'll do this simply by just saying $1. So I want to take the first row underneath the header column. Then I want to focus or select on the action column in that first row and click on the edit button. And because it's embedded within the row and the cell, it will be able to, once it finds the row, find the appropriate edit button because it's now considered a child element of that particular cell. And as expected, the test case passes. This was easy. I already had the button scanned. I just moved it into the appropriate position within the module. Let's say I didn't have a button scanned. I had a table and I realized that there was some sort of control, whatever control it might be, a checkbox, a button, a radio button, and I know that it's steerable, but I don't have it within my module. I can simply go to the table cell in which I want to embed this new control, and then right-click or go to Create Object, and I will have a list of all of the different control types that I'm able to embed within the cell. So I'll go ahead and create an embedded button. Of course, if there were only one button within this cell of the row, it would be sufficient probably to just leave the button by itself. In this more complex example, I actually have two different buttons, remove and edit. So I know that I'm going to have to maybe add one or two more identifiers to make sure that Tosca knows which of the two buttons to be selecting when steering that data row. This requires a little bit of knowledge about the technical properties of the controls. In this case, we already knew that the button has that this particular button has a tag called button and the inner text edit. So this button was created by never scanning the application again, no rescan. I just embedded the control, added a technical ID parameter. So now I'm going to create a test case using this new module as a test step. And in the exact same way as I did before, I can go ahead and uniquely identify the row, the first row, and click on the edit button. And of course, my test case passes. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching this tutorial. Here at the Tricentis Academy, we aim to provide you with educational services that suit your needs, including role-based trainings where you can become certified specialists, video tutorials, MOOCs, and more. To learn more about the Academy, visit www.tricentis.com/academy.